Well, in nation-building discussions that we're having every Friday this month, today it's refugees. It's immigration. That's kind of a controversial subject in some places in Canada.
Yeah, it's something that's dear to my heart. It's something that I, got involved with kind of maybe accidentally, but even through my involvement here with Huntley Street before joining here as a host of the program, of talking about the responsibility that Christians in Canada, and I think all Canadians, but speaking to the faith Christian community, is we have a responsibility to the strangers, those that are not Christian, and also to the household of faith, the Bible tells us. And so it's enriched my life, it's enriched the local church I go to, and many churches across this country.
The first faith-based interview I ever did for camera that I can remember was with a refugee, now a great builder in his city of Winnipeg. And it was Mr. Art DeFehr, and he had this little wooden business card because he was one of Canada's largest furniture manufacturers. And what a story Art DeFehr's story of being a business leader in Canada is. And on the back of his business card was Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And I just thought that was remarkable that he had this thin wooden business card and this Bible verse on the back. And then I asked why, and he said, well, don't you sit with God every morning and ask him to direct your path? Amazing. Anyway, long story short, his son went on to be one of Canada's leading thinkers on immigration, and our production team caught up with immigration advocate and the CEO of Palliser Furniture, still making that great furniture, EQ3 and the others. So we're down at the furniture fair. Here's Art DeFehr with his story of their family's immigration journey to Canada.
I think the church has always had some role in immigration and welcoming immigrants. I think for a couple of reasons. One is that in Canada, that church and ethnicity or racial background or national background are often quite closely related. You think of Lutheran Church, Dutch Reformed, Mennonite, even some of the Catholic groups, Catholic and Filipino. So there's that relationship to ethnicity, which does then contribute to working with immigration. But on the other hand, there's another, hopefully more important role, and that is, I think that in Canada, the churches have often played a strong role in sort of the moral position of Canada, the ethical position regarding international development, poverty, peace issues, different churches on different issues. The role of the churches, I think, grew out of a moral question, an experience question. But we did have a very unique situation in the late 70s when you had the boat people and the Vietnamese War and the after effects of that. And for a number of reasons, Canada developed a positive attitude toward that situation. But it is important that the churches led on that one, and the sponsorship program initially, and still to a large degree, is faith-based groups. The first group to sign, if I recollect, was the Mennonite Central Committee, and other church groups followed shortly after that. The sponsorship program has been important, I think, in creating an overall climate in Canada for immigration, in that almost everybody, either directly through your congregation, your own experience, or somebody else that you know, has the narrative of having met personally a refugee family at a very personal level. And a personal family is probably a classic refugee story more than most. My mother and father were both refugees from the Communist Revolution. My mother via China, my father via Mexico, eventually to Canada. I have two adopted daughters from the Bangladesh Civil War. My one son-in-law was born in the Soviet Union under challenging conditions. My stepmother was in the labor camps in Russia, so virtually every member of my family, except my wife and myself, were refugees at one point in time. So we come by the interest honestly. My daily life is presumably Palliser Furniture and in business, and it's been very good to me. And also as a company, we have, because of our background, we've always focused on employing immigrants and refugees. My estimate is about 10,000 over the years, and as a result, we have to become very good at integrating them to make them effective. So we appreciate them, and they reward us with good work and loyalty. So for us, the immigration program is very essential to our personal success.
Boy, there is a man that is doing something for the kingdom, Art DeFehr. And, you know, I lived in Winnipeg, and Palliser Furniture, amazing. They're a great company. But 10,000 refugees.
That they've employed.
It's amazing.
That they've employed.
You talk
Yeah.
about somebody that has used their business for the kingdom. That's mind-boggling. That's great. Way to go.